How's it going? This is Ryan with Front End Audio, and I'd like to take the time to give you a quick overview of the Misa Digital Tri-Bass. This is a very unique MIDI controller in the fact that it is shaped like a guitar and you interact with it similarly as you would a guitar or a bass guitar. Now on the neck of the controller you have 3 touch-sensitive ribbons that are set in concave grooves. This makes it very comfortable to play, as well as really know from feel where your hand is on the fretboard. These ribbons are very accurate and responsive, so you can pull off fast playing, hammer-on, tapping techniques, and as well, where the synthesizer allows for it, you can do seamless note sliding, and that just adds a nice dynamics to your performance. Now on the main body of the controller, you have your interactive touchscreen, and it is responsive to multiple simultaneous touches. When you first cut it on, you come to this mode here where you have your main zone, and this is where you tap or touch to trigger the notes you're playing on the neck. And you can also assign various parameters of your synthesizer to the X and Y axes. So you could say assign a pitch shift or a modulation to add further dynamics to your performance. You also have 3 additional zones here, and these can be used to trigger additional instruments, samples, or loops. And I'd like to point out that when you use any of these additional trigger zones, it will trigger in the key of the note you're playing on the fretboard, so the performance stays in tune. Now if you touch the 2 back corners simultaneously, that will switch you to the next mode, which you see here by the red screen. This is the hammer-on mode, where anything that you play on the fretboard will automatically trigger. So you don't need to touch the main window, but you still have the X-Y axes for assigning various parameters, and then you have the addition of 3 more zones, so you have a total of 6 additional trigger zones. Now touching the 2 corners again brings you to the most straightforward of modes. This is where the whole touchpad is one single zone. You will tap or touch to trigger the notes that you're playing on the neck, and you have the full screen for your X and Y axis, so you have further control of the parameters that you assign to those. Now looking at the connectors on the Tri-Bass, you have a USB port for connecting to a laptop or desktop, and this is for firmware updates. You also have your power supply connector for connecting your external power supply for in the studio, but there is a battery pack in the Tri-Bass, so that charges when it's plugged into your power supply, so you can use the power supply in the studio, but when you're on the stage, you're untethered from that, and that is a necessity for stage presence. Now a neat feature that the Tri-Bass has is if you need to know how much juice is left in the battery pack, you can touch the 2 frontmost corners simultaneously, and that will give you an indication meter. And last but certainly not least, you have your standard 5-pin MIDI port, and this is for connecting to your audio interface or any variety of external hardware synthesizers. Now the neck and the body of the Tri-Bass are actually made out of wood, so it has a nice familiar feel to it when you're playing it. And it is lightweight, so it's not going to weigh you down or wear you out while you're on stage performing, and that is a nice feature of it. And what I really love is the innovative factor of it. It's bringing the world of MIDI to guitarists and bass players so that we can take advantage of what MIDI has to offer, but we can maintain the dynamic and organic performances that we are accustomed to with our native instruments. So if you're looking to expand your instrumental possibilities, I suggest you give this a good look. So for more information on the Misa Digital Tri-Bass and for all your pro audio needs, check us out on the web at www.frontendaudio.com. Thank you.